Well, good morning, church. Uh, I'm excited to be here because I wasn't actually supposed to be here. Work called and they needed me to come in, so I went to work this morning in the ER. But went in, and then there wasn't that many sick people today. And so she came to me and she was like, "Hey, I might have to send you home." And I'm like, "Oh, that's okay. I got something I can go do." And so here I am. So I'm excited to be with you this morning. Surprise. So surprise to me. Real quick, I got some housekeeping things. You should have seen a Facebook post about our kids Christmas giveaway. Beach Baptist has now a reach that goes farther than just Fort Myers Beach. There's kids in Fort Myers Beach, that area. There's people in this area, and then I think we have a reach that's really really outside of our realm. So we have. Don't quote me on numbers. You need to go back and look. I think it's 20 kids that we've identified that we touch via personally, that we know, that we've at least have interaction with at some level. So it's one of those connection things. 20 kids that we can help this year. We're trying to raise $250 per kid. That's $5,000. We usually do way more than that. So I know Beach Baptist family, you can pull this off. You can sponsor a child. Just send $250. The Facebook post showed you how to do that. I think you go to our website or you click on the donation tab, and then there's a way to drop down for kids Christmas. And then Mally's going to do all that shopping. Her and a couple of other folks who have volunteered to come in and do it. If you want to help down there, wherever you are, we can find a way for you to help. But giving this year is the best way to do that. Help us get to that level. These are all needy kids. These are all kids. I know back in the past, we took every child that was anywhere near our sphere on the beach. But so this year we've tailored that back, and we're working with a couple of organizations who've identified kids and identified families, and then we've interacted with them. We know their families, or I work with them, or Mally works with them, or Mally's church, or our church. It's just a plethora of ways that we've identified kids that need help and their families. So you want to help with that, $250 a kid. You can give any amount. It doesn't matter. It's all going to go in the same pot. But if you want to sponsor a whole kid, it's $250. They do have a wish list that we're trying to work off of. So that's sort of how we identified the number. Many kids need bikes this year. And that, I know that's one of the big keys. And so that's what drove the number up. So there you are. We can't wait to be a part of it. We need that money in by December. We have like 2.5 weeks that we need to pull this off. Okay. So 2.5 weeks to raise the money and get the shopping done, or then we'll get the shopping done at the end of that. So let's get on that. Let's get that in here. You can contact me, Sean at beachbaptist.org, Mally at beachbaptist.org. You got further questions or anything like that. You want to give outside of the donation portal, you can, but I wouldn't suggest it. Go into the donation portal and select Christmas. We do have Venmo and Zelle set up if you can't do the donation portal, but we'll get it there. Also, church finance. You all like to be updated. I don't like talking about it, but here we are. Mally sent me a note that, hey, there's $3,500 in the bank. You need to tell people. So there you are. There's $3,500 in the bank. For the record, it takes $5,500 per month for us to operate. So you do that math. I don't know what I'm supposed to tell you any more than that. So for Beach Baptist to keep people operating, we have to raise $5,500 a month. That's all there is to it. I don't do please. I just like, that's the truth. That's here we are. So let's just jump right into the services, Martin. All right. Because this has really been weighing on me. I did that whole sermon series on winning the war in your mind. And we talked a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, but I just touched on it, but and this hasn't ever bothered me. I'm the guy that would probably be the one that bothered get there, you'll go, oh yeah, I can see that with you. let me read 2 John is where we're going to be. We're going to start in chapter 1, verse 12, 2 John 1:12. And John had just talked to people about, he was writing to the people in Ephesus, okay? And it was like very intimate. He was telling them that they needed to love one another. And they say, watch out for spiritual deception. So that was his big key. Love one another, but watch out for spiritual deception. And what I'm talking about today is I believe, and we, like I said, we touched earlier, I believe it's a form of deception, spiritual deception. Is this glare bothering y'all? I'm going to try it without the glasses. I thought we were in the shade, so I don't know. Oh man, I look younger or older? I don't know. You tell me. Sorry. I had a lot of coffee. I got started work. I got up 6:30, go to work. So I'm at it. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. So love one another, but watch out for spiritual deception. But then he goes this in verse 12. He says, I have much more to say to you. And in other words, this message isn't complete, but I don't want to do it with paper and ink. For I hope to visit you soon and talk to you face to face. Then he says, then our joy will be complete. Our joy will be complete when I come to you face to face. I've got more to say to you, but I just can't do it in a letter. You know, today, if I were to receive a letter from someone personally, I'd be like, whoa, you took the time to write me a letter? That is awesome. Think about that. That's where we are in our society today. If you were to send a card, we don't send Christmas cards anymore. The last time we sent Christmas cards, we didn't even send them. We had someone else send them. We uploaded our pictures. Out go the cards. A couple of times before that, we got the cards and then we put them in an envelope and we addressed them. But everything sort of progressed. And what it progressed to was less personal. John is saying right here that message of Jesus, love one another, but don't be deceived. But hey, there's more. I can't wait to come see you face to face and talk about it. I want to get intimate with this. It's just way too intimate for a letter. You and I would say today, this is way too intimate to text over. This is way too intimate, even sometimes to even maybe FaceTime or call over, but we'll get there on that one. But we would say it's way too intimate to text over. But John's saying it's way too intimate to even just write down. I need to be there. Think about this. I was at Gracie. So Gracie and Jimmy bought their first house. So proud of them. They got that done a couple of weeks ago and they've been moved in. I was over there helping them, because they had some problems with a new house, and Dad needed to work on some stuff, and it's a good excuse. And there I was. All of a sudden, somebody knocked on the door. We all stopped and looked at each other. Are you expecting someone? Surely the Jehovah's Witnesses haven't started now. We've only been here 3 days, right? It ended up being a salesman, of course. But can you imagine if somebody were to knock on your door? I mean, we live around people, our kids that know us, and they don't knock on the door. They just kind of barge in. I've tried to tell them, careful, but someone were to knock. My video just kind of blipped. So if this is causing you grief, I apologize. I don't know what it is. I would freak out. I would literally think Jehovah's Witness, salesman, or there's a fire. I don't know. Because people just don't knock on the doors anymore. Some of you have been around a while. You back whenever, I don't know how young I was when this happened, because it was for a while. We used to do things like we were at church and somebody'd have a baby. Then there would be someone who said, Billy Ruth used to do this at our church in Kentucky. She would set up and people would make meals. And then you would take those meals, you'd wrap them up in aluminum foil. A lot of times it was casseroles. A lot of times it was casseroles. I hate casseroles, but that's just the best way to do it back then. And so you'd make a casserole, wrap it up, and here, get this, you would actually put it in your car, and then you would drive it across town to the person's house, and you would knock on the door, and you would give them this casserole. And maybe it's somebody that had a baby, and you'd walk in and you'd love on them a little bit, and you'd say, oh, cute baby. Even if it was an ugly baby, you'd lie, because that's what you do. You don't tell somebody their baby's ugly until you get the car. Okay, sorry. I digress. But you would walk in and you'd hand them this casserole and you would say, listen, I was thinking of you. I don't want you to have to deal with food in, this time, just eat the casserole. And somebody's taking care of it tomorrow and somebody's taking care of it the next day. And, we've set this thing up for the whole week. We've got a whole team of people that's going to come and bring you food for the next week just to help you out, just to love on you. How awesome is that? Check this out. Now, today, so fast forward, just this past week, we have a program at work. It's called WebEx, and we would get messages. We get messages from each other when you're not at work, because we're not allowed to have emails from work and all that stuff. So we created a way to talk to people outside of work. Well, we found out about a need, or this girl found out about a need of a family who just had a baby, and she created a meal train. Now, meal train came about quite a few years ago, as things started to progress to a less intimate way. And Meal Train is you log on to Meal Train. And before, you used to log on to Meal Train and you'd say, I'm taking the casserole Tuesday, and you put your name on the calendar. Today, there's just a donate button. Boom, donate. I donate $20 to this particular family on the meal train. And then what happens now is that DoorDash goes and gets a meal and uses your donation and takes it, or the facilitator of it does. You don't have to worry about seeing people. You don't have to worry about lying about how ugly the baby. You don't have to worry about that stuff. You get to just be yourself. You get to donate. You get to give, and you get to feel good. Man, isn't that awesome? No, it's not. I almost did it. I clicked on the button, and I'm like, what? Now, these people I didn't even know. I mean, but that's me. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna help. And then I was like, man, the Beach Baptist we can donate. We can help them with a meal. And then I'm like, no. So literally, I don't know them. I'm gonna figure out how to know them, how to meet them, right? Because I still think it's a need, and I don't think it should just go to somebody else. Somebody needs to knock on their door. So, yeah, and here, quick, one of y'all, somebody is going to go, well, you don't know what they like to eat, or you don't know what their allergies are. I don't care. It's not about that. It's not about the actual casserole that you're going to eat. It's about me caring enough to walk in with it. Listen, I got no problem going to McDonald's and buying a bag of hamburgers, but handing it to them. No problem with that. I don't have to cook it. They probably wouldn't want me to cook it anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to put my glasses up. I'm sorry about the glare. It's just going to have to work. Ooh, I see the glare. I know you see the glare. That's okay. So what changed? Why is it so bad? Maybe you're saying now, oh, you're going to preach you're bad about digital. You don't like digital communication. Let me tell you, I'm a tech nerd. I'm a tech junkie. If you could see, if I had a camera, I wish I had cameras. This would be awesome. If I had cameras posted way up there, you could see me. I've got a computer that you're looking in right now, or I'm looking in that you're seeing me in. I've got another computer here that I'm reading and I have my notes on. Okay. And then I have this cool little microphone over here that's like blanched over. And underneath all this, there's just stuff. There's tech that's holding this up. I feel like I'm on a spacecraft. I love it. I love tech, but it has a place. It should be a tool. My problem is I don't think we've allowed the tool to take over our lives. We've become the tool. We become the one that's being used. See, texting somebody shouldn't be your primary form. My wife got on me last week because I was like, hey, we spend a lot of time apart right now. I hate it. She hates it. We don't like it. We don't want to be apart, right? I like to be under the skin. So it's probably not. We'll let that fly. I like to be underfoot, right? She don't like that necessarily all the time. However, I was at school and she was here and she had gone to work and she was home. And I'm like, listen, we can increase our communication via texting. I thought she was going to come through that phone and hurt me because she's like, I can't do that. If y'all have ever texted my wife, she probably didn't text you back. She doesn't like it. Now she doesn't answer her phone very much either, but if you've gotten a phone call from her, she cares about you. She loves you. And that's the other parts. She doesn't like it. Very impersonal to her. Right. And so I saw that and I'm like, that's right. You know, I thought about it over days. I even brought it back up. I'm like, well, I told you we could start texting more. And she was like, I don't do that. Okay, deal. All right, here we are. We're face to face. Let's live in this. And so, you know, we've got to come up with ways to be more intentional in communication and intimacy, face to face, and things like that. We can't let we can supplement it. I can say this morning, I said, good morning, lover. I can say that, or I can tell you where I'm at, or I can tell you how long it's going to be before I get home on text. I don't need to pick up the phone and call you that. I can supplement communication with text, but it does not need to be primary, right? When you're reaching out to others, it doesn't need to be your primary. Think about this. Not only is look, I keep scrolling. It's not going to work. Think about this. I say when you're knocked on your door, you freak out if somebody knocked on your door. How many of you all freak out when your phone rings? I want you to think about it. How many times does someone actually call your phone? Now, when my phone rings, I go, got to be a spam caller, right? Got to be. That's it. Usually it is. Could be a bill collector, but most of the time it's a spam caller. That's how unoften, rare, better word, how rare personal communication happens on a daily basis, even in my life, to just pick it up and call. Now, think about it. Man, Christians, we love Jesus, right? We believe in the Bible, and yet, and we feel maybe bored, maybe anxious, maybe lonely. What do? We pick up our phone. Oh, luckily I didn't bring it. I was going to show you something. I lost my phone. More about that in a minute. When we're bored, we're feeling anxious, I got nothing to do. I pick up my phone, play a game, scroll on Facebook, maybe some Instagram. I like to look at recipes. Do you know how many recipes I have saved in my phone and only used about one of them? I don't even use the stuff that I save in my TAC that I'm processing into my brain. I know what people have done in their life last week in Utah, and I've never met them. You ever said this? Oh, I follow them. I know what's going on. Yeah, I can't. I would love to meet them. You say that. I would love to meet them. Why? You know what would happen if you met them? You'd probably be disappointed to find out they're just people. But we've fallen in love with this thing that they show. Wouldn't it be better to fall in love with who they are in real time, with all of their failures, all of their stuff? Listen, this morning, it happened to me this morning. I was sitting at work, security guy sitting next to me. I didn't want to talk to him. So I kept getting on my phone. There wasn't anybody for me to check in. I was working the front desk at the emergency room. Wasn't anybody for me to check in. I kept going on my phone, kept going on my phone, kept going on my phone. I watched 3 workout videos so much. I watched so many workout videos, I started to sweat myself. And I was like, I'm tired just thinking about it, just watching it. I'm not going to do those videos. I saved a couple. I'm like, that's cool. That person's awesome. I'm going to start following her. I'm going to start following them. I'm going to watch them and see what she teaches or he teaches. I'm not. But I got that kick. Remember we talked about first kick. I got that dopamine kick though. So much so that I don't really think I need to talk to anybody else for the rest of the day. Until I do. Because loneliness is going to set in. Anxiety is going to set in. And I'm going to reach for it again. Instead of just reaching out to somebody else. Instead of just finding meaningful ways to communicate with others. Face to face. Yes, call. Pick it up. See, when I scroll and I see people, listen, this is big for this, especially for this time of year. Seasonal depression, big problem. When I keep picking up my phone, I'm watching what those people do, whether they're in Utah, whether they're in Fort Myers, whether they're wherever. I'm watching, they're posting about their steak dinner that they had. And then the next couple of days, they're going to post about going out and doing this and going out and doing that. And they're just living their best life. And I'm seeing these highlight reels. When I look around in my life and I go, man, there's probably more. Guess what? There is more. But I'm too busy watching their more to go live my more. To go find my people, to see my people, to talk to my people. I don't even know who my people are. Much less the people that I do know who are my people that I don't even decide to talk to. Oh, my Lord. 3 days ago, Sherry Ann and I were going to bed. I looked at myself. I didn't look at. She had her phone and she was scrolling. I had my phone. I even had my phone in this hand, and it was red. So I had it resting on her arm or her leg, and I'm watching mine from afar because I didn't have my glasses on, right? So I'm watching it. It was a long time. I finally, eyes started drooping, right? Clicked it off, started hanging up. She was like, "We're going to bed." Yeah. That was it. We spent 30 some odd minutes together, not together. That bugged the tar out of me. See, I'm learning. It bugged me to death that's how I spent the last 35 minutes of my day with my wife. Not whatever I want, and none of that. Just not even acknowledge it. And I can use the excuse, well, we've been together all night. We were sat on the couch all night. We sat together. We held hands, watched our show. We're that age. We like to watch our show. And then we watched our shows. God thought it was so important that he took the word, and he made it flesh. You see, God could have just printed everything for us. He could have just had the Bible. He could have saved us by his power, right? And given us the word printed. He could have. He didn't. He gave us the word incarnate. It says that Jesus came and lived with us. See, this season of Christmas is coming, and Jesus lives with us. What are you doing with the life that Jesus gave you, that he's living with you? Are you just staring at a screen? I got some statistics, and you can tell this is what today is about. It's just, I think we got to change it. I just believe you and I have to make the change. Somebody has to do it. Can't fuss at other people. We just got to change. Studies show that the average adult spends over 7 hours a day on their screen. That's the average. Now, I hope you're below average. I hope you're not above average in this case, but I hope you're way below average. Guess what? Your phone will tell you. You can go to settings, screen time, and it'll tell you how long you've been looking at it. For the day, for the week, for the month, your average. I dare you. We did this a long time ago when we first started, when Apple came out with an update that gave you this option, and I dare people to do it. I stopped looking at it. I promise you. I stopped looking at the screen time percentage because it's bad. I'm not going to tell you what mine is this past week. You go look at your own. Second stats, this is 68% of people feel stress or anxiety when separated from their phones. Did you see me a minute ago? That was play. I already knew I didn't bring my phone. But too many times I go to the car, get in the car. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? I can't drive without my phone. Really? I can't drive without my phone? That's just my excuse. It's just an anxiety of losing my phone, not having it. Where's it? Don't even get me started on when you break your phone. You ever broke your phone? You're like, what am I supposed to do? My phone's broken. You know how many times I've heard in the past month somebody go, hey, I was trying to get a hold of you. Oh, my phone's broken. That's the only way you know how to get a hold of me? My phone? Text, call. That's the only way you know? You don't know where I live. You don't know where I work. You've been trying for a week, and you can't because my phone's broken. That says something about you and me. You really didn't need to get a hold of me, right? And I really didn't care to hear from you. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't my fault. And then the last stat is 40% of adults say that their phones will make them feel lonelier, and they know it. 40% of you and I will say, see, I'll say it. My phone makes me feel lonelier. I watch what other people are doing, part of me says I want to do that thing, right? But the other part of me says I can't believe they get to do that thing. And instead of me doing my thing, I just watch them do their thing. And then I feel lonelier because I'm jealous of them doing their thing, when all I got to do is put it down and go do my thing. Will my thing look just like their thing? Hope not. God intrinsically made us to do our thing. We are ordained for our thing. Film it if you need to. Show people. Just don't show them only the highlight reels. Show them the good, bad, the ugly. You don't want to do that though, do you? It's not how we live. God made us to get up off our butts and do our thing. Live our thing. Our thing is Him. Our thing is, as John said in the beginning, love one another. And do it face to face. Yeah, you know what? We are disconnected a little bit, so you might have to use FaceTime. I'll give you FaceTime as face to face. See, that's an enhancement. That's using it as supplemental. Don't let everybody you know be on FaceTime. But those that you need to connect with on FaceTime, do it. There's a book I told you I don't recommend a lot of books. Now I'm going to recommend 2 in the last 6 weeks. Here's one called The Anxious Generation. Jonathan Haidt, H-A-I-D-T, wrote it. I'm reading it. I'm not totally all the way through it yet. Get it? It really will, because when it hits you, you need to do something about it. You need to make changes in your life. You can't just say, oh, you can't be one of the 40% that says this is making me feel lonelier. We got to have tools to stop letting it make us that way. We've got to do something about it. We've got to change. It's on us. Our deal. God's given us the power. He's given us the tools to do it. Let's just do it, right? And part of that book is he's talking about the kids in our life, how we overprotect them physically, right? I don't know if you ever grew up. When I grew up, there was pickup trucks, and the back of the pickup truck was for transporting me, right? Or transporting people across town. I used to ride to school in the back of a pickup truck. My friend would come by and pick me up. There would be a bunch of us, a little video truck. I just jumped in the back. Other people jumped in the back. We rode to school. That was just how you went to school. And then along came seatbelts, and everybody fussed about seatbelts. I still fuss about seatbelts. However, I believe seatbelts are a good thing. I believe child car seats are a good thing. I believe we've gone overboard with it, but a little bit, and it's created this culture. I mean, heck, there's some people that don't let their kids walk to the mailbox without putting their helmet on. I mean, maybe your kid needs a helmet, but I don't think they all need it to go to the mailbox, right? Or sunscreen to go to the mailbox. I just go to the mailbox, come back, you'll be fine. So we do that physically, but then we hand them a tablet, especially at a restaurant. There's a new generation that's taking tablets to restaurants. You know why? Because they can't deal with their kids' behavior at a restaurant. Let me tell, this is not about kids, but I'm going to tell you, I went to restaurants when I'm going to tell you this story. We were driving across the country with my mom, my dad, my grandparents. I rode in the back window. That was my seat, the back window. There used to be a ledge behind the back seat. I rode there. My brother rode in the floorboard of the back seat. That was his seat. We went to a restaurant, and I'm going to tell on Shane. My brother was having a fit. He just wasn't having it. It was, kid have a meltdown. Kids have meltdowns. They didn't have no screen to shove in my face. My dad picks him up and takes him to the bathroom. Comes back, the kid's golden. I mean, he's literally a golden child. And I'm just a little bit older, but I recognize it. I'm like, I mean, he may have got beat, but he survived all the way through the meal. Perfect child. We get back in the car. We're driving down the road. My mom finally goes, what did you do? Because kid's still good. He's laying on the floorboard, sleeping, hanging out, not fussing. I said, what'd you do? My dad goes, I took him to the bathroom. I held him upside down over the toilet, and I flushed it. And I said, you don't behave, you're going in. True story. Some of you need to take your kids to the bathroom and hold them don't do that. Hold them over the toilet and flush it and let them know, if you don't chill out, if you don't become a little bit better human, I'm going to let you go on down. You don't need to give them a screen to teach them to behave. You don't need to distract them with a screen. You figure out how you need to. I'm going to get in trouble if I say I know how you need to teach them. Bust the butt. I did it. I went ahead and said it. You need to bust their butt. I'm sorry, once or twice. Wouldn't hurt, right? Because if not, somebody's going to do it along their life, probably in their face. It's going to hurt. Anyway, we're using this technology for this. We're not supplementing. We're letting them teach. I see it all over the place. This is an epidemic. Y'all worried about pandemics and epidemics? This is one. Shoving something in your kids' faces. Now, there you go. Now you're saying, well, I don't have kids. Well, guess what? You're the model. You're the model. We're showing the other generation that that's where you need to have your attention, is in that screen. You need to be looking at it. You need to be staring into it. You need to be getting your dopamine from it, right? That's all we're doing. Kids having a fit, need some dopamine, shove a screen in front of it. Dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. And now you got a zombie. Unless you take his dopamine away, her dopamine away. And now you got some unruliness. I believe this is one of the greatest tools of distraction that the enemy uses to keep us out of our best relationship with God. There. That's true. It's what I believe. Are you going to continue to be distracted from true intimacy with those around you and with the Savior who created you to go love on those who are around you? Are you going to continue to do it? I think we'll look at this for a couple of weeks. Next, we're going to look at some practical tools, some things that some of that comes from that book. So you're going to jump ahead, go ahead, but not much. The rest of it's just practical tools you can do. But today, I just want to give you an aside, give you a little homework. I want you to think about it. I want you to analyze. I hope today you're like, I didn't really think about that. Or maybe you have thought about it and you're like, yeah, I just don't know what to do about it. We're going to get there. Here's your assignment for this week. Number one, well, first of all, let me give you, here's another verse. Acts 2:44. This is the church coming on. This is just you and me as church. It says they were together. They were unified. They were one. They loved each other. They cared for each other. They shared their burdens together. They served one another. They rejoiced with one another. They mourned with one another. It wasn't just unusual. It was revolutionary. Their whole culture was Rome don't associate with anybody else. Gentiles don't associate with Jews. Rich don't associate with poor. Slaves don't associate with those who aren't or who are free. And these people changed that. These people, they hung out with everybody, right? They hung out rich and poor. They hung out slave and free. They hung out Gentile Jew. They even started to hang out with Romans. They broke some molds. It's time it got broken again. You and I need to break some molds. And we need to get out there. We need to see one another. So here's what you're going to do. First, this one's simple. We got to start simple because I'm afraid it might overwhelm us if we're not careful. Take notice. My kids do this to me all the time. My kids will look at me and I go, "You kids and your phones." We go hang out. We'll go to dinner. Take notice. Just look around yourself. Look, you can notice yourself, but notice what's going on around you. How many people are hanging out together on their phone? I will say this to people if I know them. There are two people that are sitting next to each other. I go, "Are y'all texting one another?" I mean, literally, you're both on your phones. You're sitting next to each other. And then I'll do the same thing. This is one of those things that's prevalent in my life, and I really call it out in others. And so I got to start calling it out in myself. But so number one, take notice of how you're doing with your screen and other people are interacting with their screen. Second, take notice of this. Let's say you are sitting with someone, and this is a really bad habit. Maybe you're talking and your phone dings. Anybody got a ding on their phone? It's called a notification. What do you do as soon as it dings? Like you were getting ready to get $1 million delivered because of that notification. Now, I know nowadays I get really excited when the notification comes and it's from Amazon, because that means something got delivered. I got to know about that right now, don't you? No, we don't. How many times will you don't say this to them, but you'll look at somebody and go, listen, for the next 5 seconds, you're not very important to me. I know we were talking, but you know what? Let me have 5 seconds, because what just popped on my phone could be way more important. And here's how you communicate to them. Number one, that it could be that important. As soon as it dings, you pick it up. You go, oh, hold on. And if you really want to tell them how unimportant they are, you go, I need to take care of this. And you go ahead and respond. You just go ahead and send you a text response. Go ahead and send you a post response, whatever it is, because what just happened is evidently so life-shattering that you had to look at the person that you're actually with and go, I need to take care of this instead. Now, you don't tell them. You don't say, oh my God, my mom just had a heart attack. You didn't say that. Oh my Lord, my father was just in a car wreck. My kid was just in a car wreck. This is my kid's school calling. That's the doctor, whatever. Oh my Lord, they just texted me and said I have cancer. You didn't say none of that. You were like, my sister-in-law is getting a divorce and she's having trouble at Costco. I need to talk her down. Something, I don't know. So you want to communicate how unimportant people are. Just pick up your phone, notice it, pause, notice it, really teach them, go ahead and respond. Because there's no way in the world you should make anybody else wait out there in the digital world. There you go. So we're going to notice, right? We're going to notice of what others are doing. We're going to notice of what we're doing, right? At night, ask yourself, am I journaling? You know how many times I've said I don't have time to journal? Journaling is an amazing self-reflection with God over what's going on. I don't have time to journal. I got doom scrolling to do. Start asking. Are you with your spouse and you're scrolling together? You're scrolling together. You're not looking at the same thing. No, scroll together. My wife will tell you, well, you don't find the same thing funny that I find funny. Try me, because it's really none of it's funny until you find one thing that's funny. And then, yeah, you know what? We can probably share it. It's much easier for you to do that than it is for you to find something funny and then show it to me and wait for me to laugh. And then when I don't laugh, get mad because I don't like what I'd have probably laughed at it with you, but I heard it go on and you were already laughing. Sharon and I are working on, we've never been really good prayers together. People who prayed together. It's always been sort of intimate and personal with us, and it's just individual. But we're working on that. We're, as a pastor, you know what? I can teach you to pray for your spouse. Always pray for my spouse. That one's easy, right? But pray with your spouse feels awkward. It just does. You got to work through that. So we've been doing, I started doing text prayers. I learned a lesson on that one. Handwritten prayers, they're kind of okay. Took some time, took a moment. Had to find paper. Maybe just grab your hand and say, let's pray right now. Take notice when you're around folks. I taught y'all that if you're going to pray for somebody, text them and tell them you prayed for them. That's okay. You know what's more? If you're talking to someone, instead of saying, I'm going to pray for you, pray for them, with them. So this would be a challenge. This is your last assignment. We're going to notice what's going on with our phones. We're going to notice when we need to set it down. We're going to notice if we're taking a notification and we're telling the other people around us that they're not as important right now. We're going to notice that. Lastly, and I'm going to pray for you that this need arises. You're going to come across a situation in someone's life that they really need prayer. And I'm going to encourage you to say, do you want me to pray for you? And then I'm going to ask you to do it with them right then. I'm going to ask you to stop what you're doing. Pray. Some of you are not ready to do this in a grocery store. You're not ready to do it at work. I get it. Find a place. Maybe it's the parking. Maybe you're walking out to a car. I mean, something. Okay. Maybe it's family. Maybe it's whatever. I'm going to just encourage you, find an opportunity or recognize the opportunity to pray with someone. See, it's a big comfort zone step. I know. But it's a way for us to start the change. It's a way for us to actually love on one another. Not just love one another. Not just say we do. It's a way to love on one another and show this world that we're not afraid to be personal. We're not afraid. We don't need to live in the DoorDash world. We can actually get up and do something. We don't need to live in the world where we look at what everybody else is doing and wish we had it. We can go get it. Let's do that for the glory of God and for the glory of God in our lives, to really experience the life God has for us. I'm pretty sure his life for me is not going to be found in my phone. My phone may help me do what is planned for me. I don't think I'm going to find it there. I don't think I'm going to be scrolling through one of y'all's reels one day and go, there's God's purpose for my life. Just don't think so. I think I'm going to find it with some time, with him, with those around me that he's placed around me. I'm going to find my purpose each and every day. Let me pray for you right now. And we're going to go do this thing. God, I thank you for each and every person who's with us today, right here, face to face, on campus at Beach Baptist, at the Diamond Head, that your message is speaking all over the place through this vessel of Beach Baptist that you've created, that you've entrusted with us to keep moving along. I thank you for each one that's represented and for the things they're going to do for you in their lives for the rest of this week and beyond. You know me pray. Amen. Don't forget, if you can go and help support Beach Baptist, love to have it. We need it to keep going. And then if you want to sponsor a child for Christmas, need it. We're ready to get them going. We're going to make that impact somehow. But we need your help to do it. So you all go have a great week. And we'll see you back again here next Sunday morning.